Hello, my name is Mark from jazzguitarlessons.net and you're watching the jazzguitarlessons.net vlog for February 8, 2018. It's been a while since I've done one of those kind of improvised shooting in the studio. There's a Galbraith series, there's the hands-on series that keeps me plenty busy, plus all the other work on the website. But here, we had a visitor request that I we at jazzguitarlessons.net explain the concepts behind negative harmony, which I find is kind of a strange way to name something. It's like you're so pessimistic, your harmony is so negative. And I want to do this simply, and please bear with me. If you find that you would like me to go more in depth, please comment under this video and I can do another run. But my goal, as usual, is to make your life simpler, taking the very complicated and making it simple so you can understand it. Take it, run with it, use it in your own playing. So negative harmony burst into flames in the online world, I guess about a year ago. That would have been March or so 2017, after Jacob Collier, a great British musician, very young musician, had an interview and said, "Oh, I use negative harmony in my compositions." And then people went nuts because, like, what is negative harmony? This must be some kind of a cool trick that you can use and just, write great chord progressions and whatever. That's kind of it, but not quite it. I'll give you the magic recipe to understand this in less than 5 minutes. Hopefully, start the clocks. The thing is, we will need to take negative harmony and subdivide it into two main components. The first component is to understand where your chords are coming from, and the second one is how do roots movements or chords move in the cycle of fourths and so on. So we will separate this to make it more logical and easier to explain for you. If you're still here, it's mean you're 2 minutes in. It's probably because you're a fan of my ramblings. If you're not, please feel free to give me a thumbs down, move on. There's plenty of cute cat videos and stuff on YouTube. But this is going to be a ride, so please pause the video, grab pen and paper, because I'm not writing anything on screen. I'm not doing the legwork. I'm not playing my guitar. I just want to get it across to you as I understand it in its simplest terms. So people will take negative harmony, by the way, and use a blues progression or Stella by Starlight or all the things you are and go, oh, here's the version of that song in negative harmony, where we reverse everything kind of mirror-like. Okay, so the two components you have to understand is, so this is a process of substituting existing chords and melodies, if you will. In this video, I'm only going to talk about the chords component, because with the chord progression, you can take it, run with it, and you can figure out the melody by yourself. While if I just explain the melody, you'll be kind of lost. No pitch axis stuff. Don't think about that. No reverse negative scale. I've seen this. There's a brilliant guy online said, this is a C major scale. Now this is the negative G major scale. None of that. We don't have to think about that at all. Where do chords come from? If you're in the context of C major, your substituted chords, your stuff where you'll be dragging chords from is C minor. All right, that's the end of it. For you guys that are theory buffs, add 3 flats. So you're in C major, and now you have 7 chords that come from C major, will be used in progression. Now, all of a sudden, negative harmony, you're in C minor. So all C major chords become C minor chords. Add 3 flats. If you add 3 flats, you're in C natural minor, you're in C Aeolian. My friends tell me I talk fast. Is that true? You're in C Aeolian, which is E flat major. Okay, so you just take the chords that used to be, write this down, C major 7, D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, G7, A minor 7, B minor 7, flat 5. Those are C major chords. And now, instead of using those, you'll be using the set of 7 chords from C Aeolian, natural minor. I need a sip of water, guys, I'm sorry. So C minor chords. C minor 7, D minor 7, flat 5, E flat major 7, F minor 7, G minor 7, A flat major 7, B flat 7. Those are where you're going to substitute from. Easy. No need to think of the pitch axis. No, that's it. That's the first part. Where do chords come from? Second part, how do roots movement translate? So we'll be using a 2-5-1. So please write this down. D minor 7, G7, C major 7. Once again, D minor 7, G7, C major 7. That's 2-5-1, right? Intervals in negative harmony will be reversed, meaning that instead of going up a fourth, you'll be going down a fourth. So if we set our target of C major 7 and we make it negative, we will just keep the same target spot. So we will say, oh, C major 7 becomes C minor 7 or C minor something or C minor 6, whatever. You don't need to bother. It's C minor something. If we had a G7 prior and we say, well, G7, G, C, it's up a fourth. Now we say, well, we must go down a fourth in order to land on C. So where does that take us? The new chord is F minor or F minor 7. Hence, so I'm starting from the bottom of the D minor 7, G7, C major 7. You just take the 5-1, the G7 to C major, and it becomes F minor to C minor. Aha, your first steps into negative harmony, so-called. Cool? So classical musicians call this a plagal cadence. So instead of being a 5-1, it's a 4-1. In this case, it's a minor 4 going to minor 1. So good. Now asking yourself, okay, what do we do with the D minor 7? Well, D minor 7, G7, C major 7, we transform this into something we don't know what we'll substitute D minor 7 with. F minor 7, C minor. All good? What happens in the regular one is D to G is still da 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 da, right? So we're all moving up a fourth, meaning that what we want is 2 descending fourths going to C. So the first one we established was from F to C. And if we go one more, so we have B flat, landing on F, landing on C. So your new progression is B flat 7. Remember, B flat 7 comes from E flat major. B flat 7 to F minor 7 or something to C minor is now the substitute chord progression for D minor 7, G7, C major. If you're still with me, it's been 8 minutes in this video, you understand that there's no magic voodoo or pitch axis or nothing required, at least to get into the spirit of what it is. What it is parallel minor borrowing and inverting every intervals. There's something to be said that you could go deeper into that to understand it, but I don't think it serves any purpose other than kind of making your brain hurt. So you can just use that and experiment with it and see how it sounds. Furthermore, now that I'm done explaining the two concepts, so once again, the first concept is, where do your substituted chords come from? They come from the parallel minor or parallel Aeolian. If you're in A minor, if you're in A major, you're going to take the chords that come from A minor. If you're in this major, you're going to take the chords that come from the parallel minor. Geeks, add 3 flats and you're it. That's the first part. The second part is your intervals will be reversed. Now, you could say that, well, in this progression, it's not going in a cycle of fourths. That would be the topic for another discussion. But at least for things that happen in the cycle of fourths, you have a way of substituting them quickly. And that's like 75% of jazz progressions. So go ahead, go in peace and use this on Stella by Starlight to see what kind of results you bring. So once again, those two topics. Now my 2 cents. I think it's an overhyped concept because it's been in use forever. It was just never called negative harmony. Furthermore, what is defined as negative harmony is just one option amongst a myriad of options of using harmony. And what I mean by this is, now we're borrowing from parallel minor. So parallel minor means we're in C major, let's borrow chords from C minor. Okay? You could say, I'm going to borrow from C Locrian instead of C major. I'm going to borrow from C melodic minor or C, some sort of a C scale that is totally synthetic that I decided to build chords from. So negative harmony gives you just that thing where you borrow from parallel minor. Case in point, I've studied jazz harmony, and this is a thing called parallel borrowing, where you could borrow from any mode of that same scale. So you could say, I borrow from C Phrygian, I can borrow from C harmonic. Let's borrow from second mode C harmonic minor, things like that. And it's a totally legal move. And you hear this in jazz compositions. Wayne Shorter, case in point, has these things happening, like we have an A7 chord resolving to a C minor chord. It's not even a cycle of fourth. It's not even negative harmony. It's not even this or that. It's borrowed from somewhere. It does make sense in the way the tritone move, but it's kind of not quite functional harmony. There you go. So first thing, you could borrow from anywhere. Second thing, when you substitute and you use negative harmony in your roots movement, what you're going to do is use root movements that go totally against the grain. So if you use the 2-5-1 or 5-1, what you are is that you're pointing the directions. This is the most obvious way we could go. There's a big arrow, it's the gravity, and it pulls us down. And again, negative harmony is that way. It's just going to be, it always feels unresolved, and it's not going anywhere. It's just like we didn't resolve to anything. So my point is, there's a myriad of options in between that you could be using to express yourself harmonically and melodically. So sometimes if all your progressions are in the cycle of fourths, your songs and your comping will suck, because it's going to always be so predictable. If it's the opposite, it's also going to suck, because it's going to be predictable that it doesn't resolve. So great compositions kind of use somewhere in between to have points of rests where it's like, oh, clearly that was a 5-1, and other times where you're not sure where to go, and they do this by modulating to different keys and using different substitutions and etc. So before I run out of breath and before you fall asleep at the other end of your screen, thank you for watching. I hope it helps you understand in a very short time span the concept behind negative harmony. Of course, I will see you on the website jazzguitarlessons.net. Improve your jazz guitar playing with a real teacher. And please subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.